Hi. Is your child that one out of every 4 children that struggles in school? Struggles with a whole variety of things. Reading is a common thing they struggle with. So is concentration, so is writing. Sometimes it's sporting skills, and sometimes it's social skills or behaviour. There's a whole range of things that cause children to underperform in school and struggle, and many get to the point quite quickly that they just don't enjoy the whole process. And certainly parents don't enjoy the process of going to parent evenings with teacher and discussing more issues that are coming up. They don't enjoy getting the emails to home or the letters about the challenges the teacher is having with their child. So with all of these things going on, what about if we had completely misunderstood the cause of all these symptoms? And what if there was one root cause that actually explained and dealt with every one of them? Well, my name is Winford Dorr, and I got into this whole area of research because of my own daughter, and I've now met many thousands of parents, and many of them face the tragic heartache of trying to cope with a child that's struggling at school. Everyone's doing their best, including the teacher doing their best, but the normal process is to stick a label on. Does that help? Does labelling actually tell you anything other than there's some sort of explanation, and it's not a very good one at that? Or does it actually have the effect of condemning that child to being on a heap for life? A heap where everyone is not bright. There's nothing that can be done about it. Everyone is going to do a little bit just to appease the parents, but actually no one's expecting that child to get very far in life. So what if this whole approach is so wrong? So I believe it is. It was for my daughter and for the thousands of children of other parents that I've met, discussed and worked with. And it's not just reading. Reading is a very common one. And there's a very interesting blog on eye tracking you'll find where I explain what is the root cause and indeed what you can do about it. And that same explanation does also apply to handwriting, to concentration, to the lack of sporting skills and social skills, and for many it explains too why they have got low self-esteem. So one of the things that happens in schools is that children who are struggling, they are forced to try harder, to work harder. Some of them quite cruelly are told that they're lazy, and that's the opposite of the truth. These children are struggling with a lack of development of key fundamental skills, and so for them trying to do what others find easy is many thousands of times harder, literally, to carry it out. So they're working hard, they get exhausted, they get tired, they get drained because they cannot do what is expecting them. So forcing them is a waste of time. Telling them that they're lazy is cruel because it's the opposite of the truth. Telling them they are thick is also the opposite of the truth. And very often these children are very bright, but they cannot show it. School does not bring out intellect in children that are struggling. Even though it is there, it remains hidden for the whole of their school life. It's a lottery as to whether their potential, their genius is ever discovered. So I had the thrill of working with a young lad. He was only 7 when we started working with him. He was being taken out of maths and English lessons because he couldn't cope. He wasn't able to play in sport. They made him the umpire or something just to give him something to do because he couldn't handle sport. That poor lad struggled in every way, and you can imagine where his self-esteem was. Well, if I tell you that when the parents accepted and worked on the fact that the root cause was here at the back of the brain, in the cerebellum, things started to take off for him, and it was really thrilling to watch. 18 months later, in an exam that the whole of the country sat, he was in the top 1%. How amazing is that? Also, within 2 years, he was playing at a really high level. At the age of 9, he was playing at a high level 2 different sports. What a transformation. Obviously, he didn't need to be taken out of lessons anymore. Did the process we put him through involve taking medication? No, it didn't. Did it involve making him any more intelligent? No, it didn't. His intelligence was there. His ability was there. It was hidden. And the root cause was in the cerebellum. So he's one happy lad now, as you can imagine, and his parents are even happier. So What is going on? Well, the development of all key skills is determined at the back of the brain in the cerebellum, and many researchers call it the brain within the brain. It's where it is decided whether I'm going to find something easy and I'm going to be a natural at it, or whether it's going to be really hard work and I'm not going to be a natural. And it affects things like eye tracking, which makes me able to read easily or hardly at all. It affects my auditory processing, the processing in my brain of what I listen to, so that I either can concentrate easily, take things in, comprehend them, cope with them, deal with them, or the very act of listening is actually seriously hard work. It determines whether or not my physical coordination is going to be automatic or not. If it's automatic, I'll be a kind of natural sportsman in many sports. If it's not automatic, the whole coordination of just catching balls, kicking balls, working in a team becomes almost an impossible process. So it affects things like handwriting and so on. All of those symptoms that add up to children struggling at school are determined by how this little joker at the back of the brain called the cerebellum is itself developed. Now, neuroscience in recent years has taught us how we can develop that. If you want to be technical, we can increase the density of grey matter in the cerebellum, and we do it using a program that's personalized to individual children. And if you want to know more about that, there's an excellent, simple little 5-minute test you can apply to your child to find out whether he or she has been misunderstood, whether there is a single root cause for all of the symptoms that hold them back at school or cause them to trouble, or cause them to struggle. So look above or below this video according to where you're looking, and you should find a link to test your child's brain. It's something you can do in just a few minutes, and I hope it's an aha moment for you, and I look forward to working with you in the future. All the best.